I love a stranger. The middle of a fantasy. Da 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 da. Y'all know about that. Jeffrey Osborne when he with was he with Lakeside? He still with them when he did that? Last night I love a stranger. Welcome to Rico the Opinionist. I'm here. This is the place where I just share my thoughts. They're all over the place, I know, but I have to share it with somebody, so I'm going to share it with you. Welcome to my page, Rico the Opinionist, Opinionist. Look, like, share, subscribe. This is my YouTube channel, but y'all get to see it on my Facebook page first. And on my Facebook page, just like the subscription box on my YouTube channel, I have what's called links. As is my PayPal, my Cash App, the link to my GoFundMe for my nonprofit, BlackManMojo Incorporated, as well as a link to my book. The greatest pain I've ever felt. Conversation with my absent biological father who never wanted to be found. And so, if you go on my YouTube channel, you like it, and the links are there. Because this video will be there as well. So I always try it out with y'all first before I put it up on my YouTube channel. This will be done for a little while until I get the other part mastered. But anyway, like always, I am an opinionist, and I am going to share an opinion with you tonight. There's one that tends to have permeated throughout the black community. It's not just our community, but I'm mainly concerned about our behavior and our well-being. You know, for those of you we've never met, you've never heard of me, I am a long-time master's level social worker from the Grambling State University. See that Gram fam? Hey Alexa, Google, Gram fam, isn't that awesome? Undergrad degree, Bachelor of Arts in Psychology, and a Bachelor of Science in Criminal Justice, and I've worked in the substance abuse field for the past 24 and a half years, and I've met a lot of folks, learned a lot of things, and in my criminal justice degree was enacted. It was very active during my 24 years because the bulk of my clients came from court. Those who committed substance abuse crimes or whatever, they would get in drug court or ordered to take substance abuse classes, and that's where they met me. So anyway, that's why if you're new to this channel, you hear that I talk a lot about pretty much everything, but it's centered around black people and our behaviors. Because we can talk about racism and white supremacy and Trump and all of that stuff, but what does it have to do with us? Because there are a lot of things in our community that we still have yet to address. And those of you ladies on here, and some of you guys, you're gonna have to get used to it. Because I'm gonna talk a lot about a topic that a lot of us refuse to talk about out loud, that is single motherhood. And please spare me. What about the men? He can't get between closed legs. That'll always be my answer. Because it's true. I've never gotten any punani without permission. And so, and most men, the majority of men who lay down as single men are not laying down to get a baby. They lay down to get a climax. And so anyway, having said that, this one thing that, and also my main focus is always black boys. And of course black girls around there, because what I'm about to say has also impacted black girls, but it's mainly said to black boys. And if you're black, you can attest to this. You look like your ugly-ass daddy. Whenever a single mother gets upset with her son who's not doing what she's asked him to do, or out of anger, or maybe it was a one-night stand and she decided to have the baby. I don't know where this anger comes from. But let me get to the psychology part of it, the mental health part of it, the emotional development part of it. You know, and women continue to say this, because all you have to do is go to your local Kroger, your Dollar Tree, your Family Dollar, your Walmart. You'll hear somebody say this, or you have them in your family. There's women, single women with children, that's still saying this to their sons. You look like your ugly-ass daddy. And since in our community we don't respect the field of psychology, we don't understand human growth and development, and period, let alone in children, we say and do things, we say things to children that they absorb mentally and emotionally, and we do things that they absorb visually and gets up here in the central nervous system and back in the cerebral cortex, and then they act it out, and then you ask them later on, where'd you get that from? You see? And for anyone who does not know, no, I'm nobody's daddy. I've never been anybody's daddy. But I was somebody's kid once, and I grew up around grown people. Before I became an adult, I was around grown people. So those are the perspectives from which I'm coming from. Yes. And so when that is done, it sends a signal to this black boy who one day we hope to become a man. Well, he's saying that, well, damn, I'm going to have this stain on me forever because my own mother says I look like my ugly-ass daddy. So what the mother does is she internalizes her hatred for the father who she chose to lay down with on this innocent child who didn't pick him nor her. But somehow the children have to catch the brunt of your disdain for the man you allowed to not only hit you raw, but to skeet inside of you and bounce up against your cervix. See, we have to have these conversations. We hear women yelling at their children. We have to get these folks in check. And we have to go back to that community, be in that community where, you know, if you're over 40, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you act a fool up the street, they whipped you up the street, and then they told your folks you were acting a fool up the street, and you got another whooping at home. Meaning grown people check children. What we're going to have to do as grown people is check grown people who are attacking children. Well, I don't want to get involved in it. These folks are acting a fool. I want somebody's acting a fool of women. You know, most of these children are raised by women. So you can intervene. If you're a man, she can't whoop your ass, can she? All she's going to do is yell and clown and act like somebody who needs to be taken away in a straitjacket, because that's their defense. They can't whoop nobody's ass. You don't tell me what to do. Get out of my mother-loving business. These my mother-loving children. You can get your mother-loving A out of my mother-loving business. See, they got cuss word and anger for the choices that they made, so they take it out on the children. And come on, let's see how it affects the little boys. See, y'all are wondering why these little boys around here are acting like little girls. Because the boy has been snatched out of them in these single female households. Are they yelling and cussing and attacking? You look like your ugly-ass daddy. Even if you don't mean it, Mom, why would you say something like that? Why would you do that? So this boy's going to grow up with this mental stain on his face. And also, if the father's not in the home or the sperm donor is nowhere near, he's going to develop this hatred for a man he's never met or has rarely met. So he's going off his mother's anger towards a man he's never met. You look like your ugly-ass daddy. And some of the kids are like, well, where is he? Let me see what he looks like. We're going to have to be more mindful in this thing. You know, and when we see grown people cursing out their children, we should say something. You know, at least if you don't say anything, just walk past them and like, look at them like, ugh. Give them that disgust look. Say something. We can't continue to watch little children being emotionally massacred by these angry, ill-equipped, emotionally disturbed grown people. We have to. You're talking about it takes a village. Well, that's what it means. Taking a village means becoming part of the correction in our community. And not just children. There's also these weird-ass, wild-ass women who decide to have one too many children. So, okay, you had one baby. But then you would have had 2 or 3 others. Now one husband in the bunch. And then you get 4 kids and it's just you all of a sudden, ooh, I'm frustrated, I'm tired. Little mama, that ain't got nothing to do with the taxpayers. And those of us who are trying to have a quiet shopping experience in Dollar Tree or City Trends or, I'm not City Trends, but what I'm trying to say, Ross, Marshalls, Walmart. Yeah. DD's, that's my store. They're trying to have a quiet shopping experience. And at home, when you get mad at your boyfriend, you get mad at the father, you tell him you look like your ugly-ass daddy. Cut it out. That's not cool. Go seek therapy. Repent from your evil ways. Because the children don't have to suffer because of your poor choices. And that's what we see a lot of. You look like your ugly-ass daddy. That kid takes that out into the world. He has that piece right there that his mother put on him because she was frustrated or she's angry because it didn't work out with that guy. And I always said, well, maybe had you married him, it probably would have worked out. Or maybe y'all had gotten married first before having children. And please, I'm not this moralist prude. I'm not. I'm one of those persons who never had children because I actually care about children. We have too many people out here reproducing just because they're having sex. It's the stupidest thing I've ever witnessed. In 2020, why are people still getting pregnant in 2020? All these damn forms of birth control. Ladies. And I say ladies because men don't get pregnant. And what is it about marriage that makes black folks say, I'm good? And again, if there was some feminists on here, they want to say, well, it's the men. They need to be responsible. Maybe they need to zip their pants up. He doesn't have to zip his pants up. He could walk around with his tallywhacker swinging around. Guess what? If there are no open legs, he'd just be walking around with a swinging tallywhacker. So I'm not going to let women off with something I know that they are mainly in control of. Who, how, when, and where, and how they get pregnant. Now, of course, we're going to throw all these other stuff in here. I'm not talking about little children who are molested and all that stuff. We're not talking about that. Even when a woman is raped, because somebody, what if she's raped? Well, I watched at least 21 years of Law & Order SVU. And when they call the police, I'm just saying teenage girls and up, call the police, they take them to the hospital, they give them what's called a cocktail. One is for like an abortion pill, just in case, got pregnant by the rapist. One is for STD and all that other stuff, and they take this cocktail. So you ain't have to have it then. See, we live in the days of iPhone, 11 and 12, but we still can't get the birth control thing down. That's why I look at people like they're crazy. I have a t-shirt that says, if you can't afford it, abort it, and I mean it. And I couldn't care less about anybody's philosophy about abortion. If your religious values can't prevent you from having a kid without a husband, why the hell would you think I care about your religious values when it comes to saving a kid's life? And yes, abortion saves lives. Because a lot of kids who were aborted, trust me, they dodged the bullet. But the kids they were brought here not because she wanted them, because she didn't want to feel the guilt, or she wanted to use the kid as leverage to destroy the man's life. You look like your ugly-ass daddy. For those of you who've never been told that, I'm happy for you. You young men now, you older men, if your mother never told you that, I'm so happy for you. That's a terrible thing to be told to a little boy whose father is not there. And then you have to, when you bring him up in such a nasty, such an ugly way, such a hurtful way. How dare you? But that's going on every day. So I'm asking everybody within the sound of my voice, if you hear that foolishness in the public, just be polite and say, ma'am, it's not his fault that you decided to bring him here. Because he did not choose your mean ass. Until my next opinion, I appreciate y'all. My Cash App, go to the description box. Fool with me if you're cool with me on the links. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.